The Nikki Glaser Podcast. The Nikki Glaser Podcast.
Here's Nikki. Hello, here I am. Welcome to the show. It's the Nikki Glaser Podcast. Coming at you again live from Los Angeles. Same crew in the room, Brian, as yesterday, Brian Frangie.
Yes, that's true. That's not true.
I know, I'm going to say except.
Oh, I didn't realize there was
Sean
going to be an
O'Connor.
except.
Yeah, hi.
And Gen Z M is no longer with us. She died. But in her stead is my boyfriend, Chris Convey.
Is this where they do Fat Benji?
Probably.
I think this is where Fat
No,
Benji
a lot of podcasts I know are shot here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
seeing it popping up more and more.
I saw a really famous
Great place with
person
a great
in here.
crew.
Yeah, they're great guys here.
Are you Gen X Chris or elder millennial Chris?
I wish I was Gen X. I wish so badly I was
Really?
Gen X. I think I relate more closely to that. I wish there was something in
you
between.
relate to the one before Gen X with your taste in music.
I thought because of my body.
Oh, no.
I have an old body.
No.
Some people have old souls.
Yeah.
I have an old body.
I feel like I relate to the silent generation. Most of all.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
kidding.
But you're an old millennial. What are you?
Yeah, the elder millennial I hated. I wish there was another name because I don't think
A
that
cusper.
I'm a cusper.
Oh,
Give me
yeah.
the cusper.
Bi-cusper.
Yeah.
I think for a while we were supposed to be Gen Y, right?
Oh, yeah. But then I think it changed to millennial.
It changed, yeah.
Yeah, it changed to millennial, and that's
Because Gen Y
Why?
is stupid. Yeah.
Why would they skip
both of them are
it?
stupid. Gen X is the coolest
Because
one to be by a mile.
we got to grow up during the millennium shift, so it's cool. Like that's cool for us. I
Oh,
think.
it's named after the Will Smith album.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're millennials.
We are constantly getting jiggy with it.
Millennial.
We're spending time in Miami.
That album was fucking
it was
good.
unbelievable.
We're all
Oh,
men in black.
bangers.
Who knew that just 20 years later I would hate that man with a
What?
fiery passion?
Oh, I just think that was his last hit.
He keeps bringing the hits. Oh my God, that's
don't
so
like him
funny.
at all.
No, but I loved that album.
Just
Just the two of us.
Oh, yeah, that's
I
a
liked
great
even that
song.
I
Just
liked
the Two of Us is
Miami.
great.
I
Yeah.
liked Getting Jiggy with It. I liked Wild Wild West.
this is like my wife's favorite album of all time.
So
Really?
many.
Yeah, she loves Will Smith. She loves Will Smith. She made us play one Will Smith song at her wedding, and I was like, all right, because she loves it so much.
Men in Black.
Even still, after all the
Yeah.
stuff,
Well, so is there more stuff?
he's just
He slapped.
Cool.
He slapped. He slapped Chris Rock.
Yeah.
And then Jada Pinkett Smith was fucking Jaden Smith's best
What?
friend.
But he did everything to do
No,
with
but
that.
he was
So what's-
cool
is
with
that
it.
Will
He
Smith?
like
He was
gave
cool
it
with
the.
it, yeah.
He
He's
was
like-
like
he's a
he was
cuck.
watching in a corner. I think.
I
So
think
he's-
that
he could be a
slap was,
cuck.
like, you can hate him, but I mean, it doesn't take away from the talent he does have. And I think he is probably at heart a really good person, but just got.
He's wrapped up
he
in
got
her
too angry.
I'll never
flaws.
forgive him for what he did to Chris Rock.
The slap?
Never.
Like Judd
It was
Apatow
insane.
said, he could have killed him.
and then he's also like used it as fodder for other things, and it's like
He has?
you don't get to do that. I think there was I haven't watched it because I will not click on that link, but he did something with maybe in Bad Boys 3 or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
that's-
Oh, where he used it as like
Yeah.
a joke.
This industry is garbage.
It's
garbage.
It's
Yeah.
garbage. It
Well,
does suck though because I think
But
if
I
he
love-
Going
never,
away, so
if he never slapped Chris Rock,
don't-
he was kind of like the heir apparent to Tom Hanks. He
Yeah,
was like
Hank
truly
Fish.
a national
Dude.
treasure.
he won
Man.
Best Actor that night.
yeah.
Seconds after.
And they all gave him a standing
Seconds
ovation.
after.
They gave him a standing ovation. They were sheep.
It was my favorite. But I'm so sorry for what happened to Chris Rock.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite cultural moments of all time because it's just one of those things that you're like, are we living in a simulation? Like, not favorite. Like, wow, I did have a great time. I gotta say, like talking
Yeah.
about it, processing it, being like, what the fuck just happened?
Great for the Oscars generally.
I'm sorry. I enjoyed. I would never want that to happen to me, and I'm sad it happened to Chris Rock. But it's just funny. It's crazy. It's too crazy.
He
Don't act like it was like the
One of the
Oklahoma City bombing. I mean, you're talking about it like the gravity of like we're not even going to joke about it.
he did something to one of the coolest people on the planet.
Hosting.
and
But it was
doing
cool
his
on
job.
cool.
And he stole part of that guy's leg. Like, like instead of talking about Chris Rock and just he stole something from Chris Rock that
Yeah.
Chris can never get back.
Yeah, Chris is fine though. Like he's a multi-millionaire, like hugely successful. I'm not saying like, oh, it's okay that it happened, but it's not a tragedy. I don't think. It's more interesting.
To me, it's like it's the equivalent of it was like the last time we had a monoculture moment,
yes.
where everyone was experiencing
felt-
something at the same exact time and had like
Where
difference
were
of
you?
opinions on it, and it was just kind of amazing in that way that
That's
the
what I
whole
liked.
world was united.
I think that's what I liked. I liked the community it brought.
yeah.
That's how I
It was the
feel
last
about-
time this country was united.
It kind of was.
kinda
We
feels
forgot
like
about
it.
our political differences.
But do you remember, like, we've talked about this before because we like always talk about like these moments in culture, but and I don't know if we've done it on air, but like that was so wild that happened, and it was mere years after one of the craziest things to ever happen, which is the wrong picture nominee was announced.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
for best picture, not just
it's-
for best sound and editing.
Yeah.
The best picture. They could have fucked up any of them.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's crazy that they brought out two elderly people to do that, and
Who was it again?
It was Warren Beatty and Faye Dunaway.
Oh,
And,
God, yeah.
And like it was just so perfect that it was also La La Land and Moonlight, and we're like in this like Black Lives
Oh, my
Matter
God, you were
moment,
so
and it's
right.
like the one name you should not read is La La Land. If this time, like Moonlight needs to win for the world, and Faye Dunaway shaking goes.
What happened? Do we
she,
know?
and she looked at Warren Beatty,
Yeah.
and Warren Beatty, like
They're confused.
Yeah.
She grabbed the envelope that for Emma Stone winning Best Actress for La La Land.
Yeah.
So she's just reading La La Land.
well, I don't know. They don't grab it.
them. They like give them to you in a
yeah, it was
locked
handed
So
to
case.
her.
somebody gave it to them.
Yeah, so
She was
those,
handed
Oh,
the
they
wrong one.
hand it to you and they're like, you're not allowed to open this. Like and they give it to you right before you walk on. Like I've had to have some. There's no way she just grabbed it from like a. That's crazy. That was their fault.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And then. So Moonlight won, correct?
Yeah, Moonlight won.
Yeah.
Isn't it interesting? I don't remember because it took away
Whitewashed.
something.
It was crazy.
It took away from Moonlight.
I remember my whole memory of that thing is Jimmy Kimmel walking out, and then the white
yeah.
producer of La La Land being like, "Moonlight, you won."
he was
my
such a
God,
good
yes,
sport.
He was such a good sport.
He was. Yeah, that I mean, anything can happen. I've been thinking about the Golden Globes and like, what if I get slapped? Like, what would I do? Like, what? I would probably do the same thing Chris Rock did and just keep reading. And
You just have to keep moving on and not do the joke where Cynthia Erivo is the star of G.I. Jane 2.
Did you just write a great joke for that?
oh my God.
I deleted that from the doc earlier. I typed it out just to get it out.
I mean, that's so bad. That's so funny. Because that would be fun. Like, if there were a different vibe, that would be a very funny joke to make.
Yeah.
Like, if it was more fresh in people's minds. And, like,
Mm-hmm.
that is so funny. But, yeah, like, I was just thinking, like, just people, it's live. People can someone could have a heart attack in the room. And
Sure.
what do you do then? Like,
I saw you respond to a heart attack, and
I kind of just freeze and go, like, oh, all right.
Where was this? This was in Cincinnati or something.
Yeah, it's happened
Someone
a couple
had
times
a heart attack or
where there's
something.
been a medical emergency.
You
and
walked
I just,
off stage for a few minutes.
Yeah, I just hang up
Yeah.
the mic. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna like try to.
No, that's
Call
the right.
it?
That's the right way to do it. Like,
I'm not gonna try to be funny. I'm gonna try to help. Like, is there doctors or any doctors here? But then get off. There's no part of me making that funny.
exactly.
Or-
And then like they're working on him or getting him out or him or her
Yeah.
out of there. Like,
like
you can't go back to your act while that's happening.
No,
I thought it was
Everyone's
like a check
concerned.
spot.
You could hum the tune to Staying Alive in case they're doing it.
Oh yeah,
That would be helpful.
That's 100 BPMs.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many Taylors. Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods yet? Are we out of the woods?
Clear.
Yeah. That's so good. That's one of the lyrics.
Can I just say this about
what?
Wicked that I neglected
Yeah,
to say, or
I
I
wasn't
neglected to say in the
finished
last episode?
talking about Wicked either.
I think the most fucked up thing about Wicked is that we're learning about all of these characters, and we know that the future is that some woman from Kansas kills the girl in the wheelchair by landing on her with a balloon, and then goes and kills her sister later on by throwing water on her.
It never dawned on me
No,
that
me
the
neither.
the Wicked Witch of the East was the wheelchair lady.
The Wicked Witch of the East
That
is the
is
wheelchair lady. She's the
what?
sister of the Wicked Witch of the West. And so Dorothy comes, kills her,
No way. Nessa?
and then kills her sister.
Yeah, she kills him.
It's fucking crazy. And then the most fucked up thing of all,
How are they going to spin that in the movie?
That's why I feel like they need a third. They need a third installment because right now, doesn't basically Wicked rewrite history? Because right now, Dorothy's a hero, Glinda is a good person, and Wicked is basically asserting that Glinda isn't that good, and that it isn't good to kill either of those witches.
that's right.
And that's
Yes.
okay. I think it's interesting that something that we culturally have thought forever is like not what we thought it was. I think that's a good statement of like things aren't always what they seem, and like I think it's a good lesson to dismantle something that culturally, like I found that really interesting. But I also didn't grow up with the Wizard of Oz. Like this is
it's
canon, like to me, it didn't matter to change it.
No, me neither. Like, I watched The Wizard of Oz, but I'm also like, yeah, please. Like,
Well, and then the most confusing thing of all is at the end of the movie, it turns out that all of this was just a figment of Dorothy's imagination that she was dreaming, which means this prequel is a prequel to her dream.
so it doesn't actually exist.
It doesn't
These
exist.
are just
None of these things
These are a
exist.
fever dream. 'Cause
Yes.
she got hit with a piece of wood in a tornado.
That's right.
Okay, but all right.
Boy, that makes it all even more pointless.
What?
It's so
Are
pointless.
they going to make new songs for the second one? Because they hit all the songs, right? There's no songs they left on the
There's
table.
just not any bangers like Defying Gravity and this, but they'll do
Or Popular.
refrains to all the songs. Like you will hear little snippets of those songs.
I love when that happens,
Yeah.
when a song sounds familiar because you already heard it.
And then
Yeah.
it'll be like the sad version because like
A lot of sad things
have
happen.
happened, and it's like I want.
So is Act 2 a tragedy?
I mean, no. Well, it does descend into pretty sad territory, and then
Because the first one's like so light and airy that I was like so surprised about.
it's not a tragedy. Although it is a tragedy because the main character dies, so that is in by definition a tragedy, I think.
Yeah.
But it's not entirely a tragedy. That's all
Okay.
I'll say.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
Nikki wrote a whole musical last night. Do you remember that? It was so funny. I don't remember what it
I
was
just
about.
came home and everything just seemed like it should be a musical. I was talking like this and I have to go to bed.
Oh.
And I was just like, it's really easy for me to do a musical voice.
She wrote a whole musical
Why
last
don't you
night
write a
about the
musical?
dog.
Oh, come on. You're going to be in
Do a
Chicago
musical.
one day.
But it's
like,
just nice to do it just everything you do just starts to be like this and you can say everything like this and it just sounds better. And then you could just they do it throughout the whole movie. Like the only person that started singing where I was like, are they singing or talking was Professor Gonagall.
yeah.
Bowling ball?
Professor Goggles from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
McGonagall.
No, the goat guy.
Morrible.
Yeah, Morrible can't sing very well, and neither can Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
but I
Jeff-
like
yeah.
that they put in people
Peter
who aren't
Dinklage was okay,
huge,
a little
great
bit.
singers. Did he sing?
A little bit, because he has a
the
song in the second, or I don't know if it's a song, but
Is
he has
it mean to say they couldn't sing? But come on.
No, Michelle Yeoh was it was labored, and then
It wasn't horrible to listen
No.
to, but it was not Ariana and Cynthia Erivo.
No,
I mean, maybe
it's
that's what it is, though. Like
Yeah.
by comparison, those two are.
You've already
Extraordinary.
heard two of the best voices that ever existed, and then Jeff Goldblum is like,
Oh, Jeff Goldblum! I really liked the last note he hit, where I was like, "What's he gonna do with this note?" And he did something. He just is interesting. He's so Jeff. He's just Jeff Goldblum. Someone goes, "How was he?" I go, "He's Jeff Goldblum."
yeah, you can't look away from Jeff Goldblum. He is like the most dynamic.
Is Cynthia
weird-
Erivo horny for him? Me and the wizard, we're gonna be together. She's horny for the wizard. She's like a little girl that has a crush on the wizard, right?
A little girl, a 37-year-old little girl.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't want to get into that.
Yeah.
Everyone's too old.
She's
yeah,
a crush, but I think it's more just that she's been so maligned by society.
Yeah,
the
I
wizard's
think
her only
I think
hope.
But,
I think
this
it's an
wizard in
elderly
me-
man paying attention to her, where her dad is so shitty to
Yes,
her. Her
but it's-
dad is like.
But that's why girls get into older men in
Yeah.
the first place. There is a romance thing. You
Yeah.
can't deny there. As a little girl who would have crushes on with the first man you have a crush on, you're never gonna be with Dave Matthews. He's 18 years older than you, but you're somewhere we might be together. It was giving that. It was giving like she had a horny crush for him. Not when she was like 7, but like the song "The Wizard and Me" are gonna be together forever. Like it's horny.
Okay.
She's definitely
100%.
hornier for him than Fierro, who seems like they're supposed to be horny for each other. But like Fierro's just like horny for the world.
He's
Wait, who's
horny
Fierro?
for everyone.
Oh, Fierro's the
prince.
guy. The
Is that
he
his
walks
name?
in, this guy who reminds me so much of your brother Curran, and I did say before that I like really was feeling this guy, but I'm not. I'm just saying like he is just a star. Everyone's horny for him. Like the animals, the women. I love that. I love the heartthrob comes on and the men are swooning. It
like
was so
trees get wet as he walks by.
Sap.
Truly.
They do a close up of like just
Yes,
sap
a
dribbling
sap dripping
down.
from. Yes, I mean it really was that. He was just so like great, but I liked the chemistry between him and Elpha, but I felt like it's all about like he only liked her because she was like not that into him.
Yeah.
And she was definitely horny for him because who wouldn't be?
Sure.
He's the prince.
Yeah, he
you
got
know?
her.
And but then
But he's also like, what? He's the prince of what? And then
I
also,
don't know.
And then Elphalba's dad is the governor of Munchkinland. And they're all at
He's rich.
Shiz University.
This is the Wizard of Oz.
I don't understand.
Shiz
the
rhymes with
shiz
whiz.
thing.
Maybe that's why.
But I
Oh, okay.
loved-
That's actually, you're probably right.
I loved looking at Ariana's face. It's beautiful. I loved looking at Elphaba's and studying like what's the like
How
they
did
did
they
such
do
a good
the
job with the
makeup?
makeup. It's so good.
Yeah.
And they're just both. I mean, it was just really well
Did
done.
they green everything? That's what I want to know.
And when they say they're singing live, I'm like, I'm sorry, she is flying through the air. Where was the live here? Like this was all done in post. There's no way. That doesn't make sense. For most of the movie where they sang live, it does not make sense that they are singing live, and I call bullshit on it.
Yeah.
And another thing,
Oh,
here we go.
I'm ready.
New
to
segment
going
on the
rage.
show.
Here's another thing.
oh.
Wicked is like this treatise on animal rights and how we should fight for the animals and the animals should not be caged and they shouldn't be our slaves. And so I'm like, this is fucking awesome. Like, I love that this message is like so strong throughout the thing. It's kind of unexpected. We talked about it. It feels like it shouldn't even be in it. But I'm like, okay, great. As a vegan, I love this. I'm like, this is so fucking cool. And then I'm like, 100% this set was vegan. Like, how could they make a movie about this and not... And there's no fucking way it was.
No,
it's not even.
not even a-
I googled Wicked set vegan. There's no even mention of it. There's
No.
nothing. PETA, look into this because I'm sorry. Thanks for the help, but also no thanks because unless you're gonna live and promote veganism throughout the movie and like live by this thing
I
that
don't
you're.
think in the world of Wicked they are vegans. I still think they eat meat. It's just that there are
But,
certain
like-
animals who can talk, and those animals deserve to be
Like, it's clear
jobs.
Bach, Ethan Slater, Ariana Grande's
he eats
boyfriend.
meat.
He eats rats.
I don't want to talk about him. I can't talk about him.
It's so.
I don't want to talk
He
about
broke me.
I don't-
I am so broken because of this.
I can't. I turned to my mom. Okay, so I knew my mom didn't know the backstory of what was going on behind the scenes of Wicked. And in case you don't know, we're talking about the guy that Ariana is now dating.
Ethan Slater.
Ethan Slater, who
SpongeBob.
plays Bach, and who plays SpongeBob on Broadway, which none of us would have known unless everyone was just trying to trash him so hard. Like, it's not a fact about him that like everyone's like, oh yeah, the guy. Like,
Oh,
it
yeah,
was
like,
ju-
we already
It
knew.
was just used as a
The
device to be like,
SpongeBob
can you believe
musical.
she's dating SpongeBob?
Yeah.
But I was so excited to have that little nugget in my back pocket to whisper to my mom halfway through, and I go, and it was in a scene where the prince was with him, you know?
Yeah.
And I go, that's who Ariana's now dating. And my mom goes, the prince. Oh. And I go, no. No. And she goes, who? Like, she was like the goat? Like, she was It is awesome. It's such an awesome piece of trivia to have. And when he shows up on screen and they have like an interaction, I can't believe the whole audience doesn't gasp. I love when I find out, like, I didn't know the timeline of how they met, and I know it's none of my business and I shouldn't look into it, but I'm gonna. Like, I can't wait to find out, like, did they meet at craft services? Like, did they meet during rehearsals? Like, when did this shoot? Like, when did it all go down? Mr. and Mrs. Smith style. Why is no one talking about it?
I mean, it really is. There are modern day Pitt and Jolie.
And Will will, none of my business again. And as someone who is now in the celebrity world, I'm not allowed to be commenting on these things. But fuck, I'm sorry. I have an opinion about it, and it's none of my business, I know. But will it last beyond the wickedness of it? Is it a showman's?
Yeah, is it a showman?
I hope not. I want it to last forever.
Oh, yeah. I hope it makes it to at least part 2.
It better. They're going to spend a lot of time together.
We gotta take a break.
Okay, we're going to go to break. We'll come back after this. So, yes. You did not see Wicked. But no.
So who saw My Old Ass?
I saw it.
You saw it? Did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it.
Did you see My Old
I haven't
Ass?
seen it yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We can't talk
Did
about it.
you cry?
Cry during it?
Oh, you don't. Then you didn't, because it's not an option.
I mean, I saw.
For
did
a
I
body.
cry?
Do you
I
cry
cried
at
during
movies?
Wicked. I
You
cry all
did?
the time.
What?
I
And you
cry
didn't cry
constant.
during My Old Ass? It is.
I can't remember like a legitimate cry. I might have teared up, but I didn't cry.
Okay, so the main girl looks exactly like Gen Z M. Do you agree?
Yes.
Like identical.
Yeah, she acts like her a little bit too.
She talks like her and
Yeah.
acts like her. She is so her. And so I told Gen Z M, like, you got to see this movie. Like, she is so you. And Gen Z M watched it. And I said, and by the way, you're going to cry. Like, there's just no way that you're not going to.
It is a beautiful. It reminds me of. Do you ever see Frances Ha?
Yeah.
Yes. But
So that movie,
that
I was
doesn't
like
stick with me much.
hysterical.
Okay.
That really hit me for some reason. And this is similar to that. It's a coming of age story.
It's so good. And it
Yeah.
really, I didn't want to cry because sometimes I have to say, this is such a lame quality about myself, but sometimes I don't want to say I pride myself on it, but like, I like that I'm not just like a girl who cries at everything. Like sometimes I think like I'm around a lot of girls and they're like, they cry at everything. And I'm just like, because I'm not moved by a lot of stuff, I think I have to put my foot down and be like, I'm a girl who doesn't, I'm not like the other girls. I don't cry at things. So it's like, kind of becomes this part of my identity that I'm like, I'm hardened more than most girls.
I have to do a lot of work to get you to cry.
Yeah, you did it. But I do cry every so often. But I thought with this movie, I was just like, there were a couple. I think Anya told me she cried, and then who else? Someone was like, "Oh, it's gonna get you so hard," and I was like, "Nope, I'm not gonna be tricked by this."
Is it more of a tearjerker than the Amazon janitor commercial?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
The Amazon janitor commercial storyline was stolen from last season of America's Got Talent, where they had an actual janitor from Indiana who was very good at singing, and the school children all heard him singing, and they raised money for him to fly to Pasadena so he could audition for America's Got Talent. He was amazing.
And you have his album now, right?
I have his album, yeah. It's called Sweeping Away with Harvey Banks.
So wait, the Amazon commercial is like kids like hear
Yeah.
a janitor singing and they
Yeah,
go,
yeah,
"We
yeah.
wanna-"
It's like if the people all get together, but it reminded me of the pop star line.
What was that?
What if a janitor was actually smart?
A common misconception that we're pulling apart. What if oh yeah, that's so good. Pop star's so good. We talked about that.
I don't like when commercials abuse emotional reactions from the people they're selling things to. I don't want
I
to
don't
be.
think I've ever
I don't
cried
want
at
to
a
be
commercial.
influenced emotionally by corporations.
Oh, they're doing it all the time.
There's so many right now. There's the ones where like. There's one where the grandfather died, and then they're at like a family get together, and the mom's like, "I just wish he was here," and then the grandson is there being talked to by the uncle, and then they're like, "You should go save the grandson to the other guy." This is a really good explanation. But the end of it is the kid goes, "I want to be just like my grandfather," and then the dad goes, "You already are," and he's choking up, and then it's like. John Deere
Wait, I
lawnmowers.
literally just got a little teary-eyed.
Yeah.
Hearing the synopsis. That's
Yeah.
so sweet. Okay.
I hate that.
I don't think I hate it.
I am
Emotional
Now, do
manipulation.
you hate it
for the
because
sake
it's
of capital.
John Deere and you just hate the America's Heartland? Or
Yeah,
like, would you like it more if it was for Prime Energy? Or-
Brian
know if
wants
it
it to
was
be
for
for
John
Cotopaxi. He wants multicolored outdoor
No,
equipment.
I understand not wanting to be but
Emotionally manipulated by a corporation for the
here's-
sake of selling things. It
Okay,
doesn't work on me.
to me, I would. If I didn't get into entertainment, I probably would have gotten into. I think I saw myself as like a John Hamm Mad Men, like a creative person at an ad
Yeah.
company, and I think that's a really soulless job. So it must be a real home run when you are able to write a little story with a 30-second commercial that like fuck this product, but that just grasps the people's attention. Like I do think that there is some artistic integrity in it for these people that have like are truly artists, but like
they sold out for the paycheck.
I mean, what's the difference?
They
between-
sold out because they didn't find stand-up comedy.
I
want to
buy a house at 24.
Yeah. But I would have done that had I not found stand-up. Like it's just I got lucky that I didn't end up in doing that. And man, they get beaten down.
I'm so disgusted. The older I get, the more I'm just disgusted by ads and adverts.
Disgusted.
It's everywhere. There's billboards everywhere. And then I feel like if I listen to too much of an ad on like a TV show or something else, I feel like they got me. And so I skip as many ads as I can to be like, they're not getting to me.
Yeah.
I can't stand
Well, they
them.
say they've done studies about this, and they say that the best way to not have an ad get you is to pay attention to it and critique it. If you just let it kind of like wash over you, it seeps into your subconscious, and then you're influenced without even realizing it.
There are some of the worst ads I've ever seen. Have you guys seen these Mattress Firm ads? So Mattress Firm, I guess, is already being kind of like people are saying it might be a front.
Can I just say that the whole mattress industry is like it's got. They should do a John Oliver thing on it. It has got to be like the most corrupt industry in the world.
They're
just making up numbers on mattresses.
They did an episode of Adam Ruins Everything called Adam Ruins Sleep, and guess who wrote it?
You.
That's right, me.
You.
Yeah, I wrote it.
You ruined everything.
I ruined the mattress. Yeah,
Oh
so
my God,
that episode
yeah.
exists.
Well, good. We should all watch it because it is. I was buying mattresses in New York like 15 years ago, and I'm like, what is going on here? Everybody's giving you a different answer for the same product. You go back, and then it's so shady. Something is going on.
Yeah, they've said that these Mattress Firm places are just fronts because no one's ever in them. They're always having huge sales. They're always that they're just money laundering for who knows what.
Well, it's because they don't need to sell that many mattresses to stay in business. It really is like a billboard. Like each building. That's why there's so many of them. They're always well lit.
It's like the M&M store in Times Square.
Exactly. It's like a billboard. You're only willing to sell like 1 or 2 mattresses a month to pay the rent.
Well, can I just talk about these commercials because they're so heinous?
Yes.
I wrote it down on my phone to be like, I need to talk to people
I
about
love
this because I can't even believe that
there needs to be a show or podcast that just reviews commercials.
The person that created these commercials needs to be out of the business and kicked out forever. And everyone involved, I am putting you out there. Like, I think you should be doxxed. Like, I think your family should.
Oh my God.
We need to find these people. No, I think this is truly I would love an investigative podcast of how these commercials came to be. And this was what leads me to believe it's a front because they actively look like they're trying to get people to not buy a mattress. So the whole thing is it's how do you sleep at night? So they'll have someone behaving just disgustingly, and then someone will look at them and go,
"Oh yes,
how do you sleep at night?"
Yes.
Like it'll be like a guy with his fingers in the guacamole at a party, and he's just licking it off his fingers.
Over the top.
And then some guy looks at him and goes, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" And he goes, "How do you sleep at night?" And the guy's licking guacamole. He goes, "I sleep, and it's all night long." And then it cuts to all night long, and then it's that guacamole guy on a Mattress Firm mattress. Why would you ever want to associate your brand with a guy who licks his fingers after eating
Disgustingly.
And then there's another one where a woman is yelling at her kid for being weak on like playing pee-wee football or something. She's like, "You're weak! You suck!" And a woman next to her on the bleachers is like, "How do you sleep at night?" And she was like, "Well, I sleep all night long." And it shows that woman on her mattress at home in the same clothes she's wearing. And it's like, why would that pitch ever work in any way? Ever?
We are living in a time where it pays to be a villain.
Yes, that's what makes me think these people are celebrated. You want to be like that person that just does what they want.
Well,
and
the
is
commercial works
disgusting.
because we're talking about it on this podcast now. That's the whole point of the commercial.
I guess so, but
It
like,
got a rise in you.
why wouldn't you do the flip side? Like, why wouldn't you have that person like?
Because you wouldn't talk
Because
about
good
it.
people don't sleep well. Like, they're all they're
Did
all
you see that
panicked.
recently? That there's like some meme going around that like women who are Democrats like don't sleep well and Republican women sleep just fine. It's like, yeah, or like they have more depression or something. It's like,
I mean,
no one's denying that.
Like for the last 3 months, I'm just waking up at 3 a.m. for no reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why it's better to be a Republican. Like at some point, you can just go, you know what? I'm just gonna be a Republican,
Yes.
and I'll be happy. I'll finally
Let
be happy.
the current take you out to sea.
Yeah,
Yes, it feels. Yeah, I think about it all the time.
yeah. Just switch over and forget about all this bullshit and just get money.
Yeah, what am I gonna do?
Have
Be
money.
Get
Cool
that money.
at
50? Like, I don't need to be cool at
No,
50.
Right.
just give it up.
What am I
Don't-
going to be 65 years old responding to people's tweets? I mean, it's just like, just accept the fact that the world is shit, it's corrupt, and the
Yeah.
only people that are happy are people with money.
I mean, yeah. I have accepted it. I don't listen to any news anymore. My mom is constantly like, she just showed up the other night at Forrest's birthday. And she showed up and we're all like festive. And my mom just walks in. She goes, "Oh, God, did you hear?" And I'm just like, what?
What now?
What is going on? And she's like, "Oh, your dad made me listen to the news on the way here. This fucking Trump." And I'm like, wait, we are 3 weeks out. Give up. I've let go.
Yeah, you
You're
gotta-
still hearing about him? I don't hear about him at all.
Yeah, I'm
Literally at
off
all.
of Twitter. I'm like, I'm.
You're blue sky in it.
Yeah, I'm on Blue Sky.
Oh, yeah, you made your
I'm on-
post.
I switched over to Blue Sky. I
Great.
love it, but also I'm just blissfully ignorant because there's no like search function, so I don't see news.
Yes.
I just follow comedy accounts, and I'm just like not laughing because no one's funny, but like,
Yeah. Yeah.
but like at least I'm seeing attempts.
Yes, I'm just tapped out. I'm out. I've given up in a different way. I just am not paying attention anymore at all.
It is. It's important not to pay attention because it really is all just sensationalist bullshit. For example, Hunter Biden was just pardoned by Joe Biden, which
Of
is
course
like
he should be. Why
no
wouldn't you
big
pardon
deal.
your son?
Right, pardon your son, and also like
They would do it
that's
1,000
what-
times
1,000
over
times.
Yes.
for like way worse things.
yes. Well, I mean, Trump is a convicted felon, and they voted for him. So the fact that you'd get mad at
It doesn't make any sense.
pardoning your son
It's
for
it's non-news.
yeah, and
They're
but,
so mad that Hunter Biden is maybe the coolest guy to ever live. He's so rad. Like,
pretty rad.
honestly, that is the one benefit of being like,
He
you know,
should
like a
run.
Democrat in your 50s. You're Hunter Biden cool. Like, you're smoking crack with a different Honora every night. Like, he's so fucking rad.
Dude, that's so funny.
so you don't need to be privy to like the sensationalist bullshit where
No.
because it's all horseshit trying to get you to click. So they're gonna have to make up more and more shit to be angry about because they're all in charge. So they're gonna have to just pull shit out of nowhere, and it's just gonna be a waste of everyone's time. It's just
Yeah.
it needs to just go back to no one paying attention, and that's how we'll save
That
this
was
country.
so fun. It was so fun,
Yeah.
the Obama years, where I just kind of really didn't know anything that was going on, except
go
for
back.
like being like, "Oh, cool! Interpol released a new album."
Better times.
Are you guys? Is everybody watching English Teacher? Have we talked about that yet?
I don't know if
You've talked about
I
it,
talked
yeah,
about it
good
here.
on the
Yeah.
podcast?
Besties actually have written to me and been like, "Yeah, it's a home run."
I want to get back to the English Teacher world.
It's we're I think we're 5 or 6 episodes
5 or 6
in, and there's
episodes
eight
in, yeah.
episodes total. And I'm going through my second run in 3 weeks. I love it. I would watch it all over.
What
again.
is the English teacher world?
It is like Abbott Elementary and Always Sunny and 30 Rock. No.
Yeah, no, you know, Abbott Elementary and Always Sunny. It feels like there's like, you know, they're kind of have dirtbag characters, but set in like the world of being like we're trying to like, you know, like push up
Help kids.
help kids.
And the main character really does care about teaching and wants to be a good person, but he also is like a gay narcissist.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's such a great show. Sean Patton's incredible on it. Like
He's unbelievable.
it's
It
And
just
that
like
girl,
instills
I
my
forget her
faith
name.
in
Stephanie Koenig. I love her.
Obsessed with her.
And the
I
main-
made Chris would be like looking at his phone. I go, "We have to go back. You have to see her face in the shot." Like, and he goes, "It's that good," and I go, "It's that good." And you loved it.
They're walking the perfect balance between subtle and sensational.
Yeah.
Every single character
Yes,
is.
yes.
Yes.
And the main guy is he's
You'll have
extraordinary.
so much fun watching it, Brian. It like
Yeah, I gotta watch
renews
it.
your faith in TV.
I mean, I
It's
love all
comedy.
FX shows pretty much, and I'm excited to watch it.
It's great.
It's pretty wild that like the show is so grounded, but also can be broad enough to include somebody like Carmen Christopher, who is playing a guidance counselor.
Oh, that guy's
counselor,
so
and he's
funny.
Insane. Like I'm a huge Carmen Christopher fan. Like every one of his short films are just like complete bangers. But to see him in a TV show is
I didn't know anything
exhilarating,
about
'cause
him before.
He was in the Bear. He's like friends with the bigger man.
Oh.
And he does not fit in on that show at all.
No.
But he fits in so well on
He's
English
perfect. Yeah.
He's
it's-
perfect on
Yeah.
this one.
It's so much fun.
FX is like the only place doing anything of note. It's just crazy. And television, they're the only ones doing development, and they're the only ones that are taking risks and making shows that are like worth watching. Like everything that they make is worth watching, even if it's not that good.
It's like art.
Yeah,
like
it's
they're
art.
still making art.
It's like
Yeah,
even
they
HBO
care.
kind of fell off a little bit because they got sucked up into like the Game of Thrones world where like they need to have this
Well-
like
Yeah,
smash.
Zaslav hates.
Big Daddy's ass.
Yeah, Big Daddy
I
Zaz.
love when people are calling him that. But you just said that you saw James Acaster's special on HBO.
Yes.
And
Oh my
that's what
God.
everyone needs to watch now because I'm going to watch it.
It's
as soon as
incredible. Like
possible.
I love him. I just find him
Obsessed.
every special of his is just like so unique. Like I really love the British style of stand up where it's not stand up at all.
No, yeah, I like when they just do something totally different.
Yeah.
But he is so
Well, hold on.
absurd.
When it's good, it's great.
It's-
and
yeah.
when
And
it's
then when it's
bad,
bad,
it's
It's
the worst.
It's bad net.
Yeah.
What is it?
Bad net. Nanette.
No, when it's isn't she New Zealand?
She's New Zealand.
Well,
Yeah.
She's from
UK,
Tasmania.
Australia,
Oh, yes.
and New Zealand. It's all the same
Yeah.
thing.
No,
It's-
I
they
love
they
Nanette.
run
Yeah.
the risk
It's
of falling
important.
into this.
It's important that you say that after.
I love it. I love it. It's important. I bow down to it.
But James Acaster, I can't wait to watch it. It's called Heckler's Welcome, and he like
Heckler's-
invites people to heckle him during the entire show.
Yes, he gives 4 rules at the beginning of the show of what the audience is allowed to do. And it's so great. It's like really about all the things he learned in therapy and like why
Yes.
he does stand up, even though he
hates
now
it.
hates it. He hates it. And he's like, I hate doing this. I hate performing. I hate you guys.
Yes. He was talking about on some show where they were like, "You hate it?" And he's like, "Yes." And you hate doing this too. Like I think he called up the host for being like, "And you probably hate this too. Everything's a job. It all sucks."
Yeah.
But I'm fascinated to see it because he's truly an original and doing something so different. And every clip of I just think he's so vulnerable.
Yes.
Like I first saw him on the Great British Bake Off, and I don't even watch the show. It's just a clip of him doing a celebrity one where he completely fucks up the cake that he's making, and it's really funny. Like he makes like an ocean scene, and so he's like, taste the icing. You taste anything in that? And they're like, I don't know. And he's like, salt. he makes the icing salt because it's the ocean, and it's like he bombs so hard on it, but he's like really swept up in it. He
has, like-
just seems like he's being real.
He has that perfect summary where like they ask him what happened and he's like, I tried to bake a cake, had a breakdown, here it is.
Yeah. It's like if you get at the heart of it, it's like he's just being himself, and it's really refreshing. There's like no artifice there. I don't think. I mean, sure there is in some way, but he doesn't seem to trying to be anyone but himself.
No, it's
refreshing.
It's incredible. And like I've just like never watched a special where like he uses more therapy speak where like he tells the story of like him being humiliated in front of all of his classmates when he's 5. And he's like
5, yikes.
And he's like, and now I realize why I perform is because of this. My therapist said that. So when you are not laughing at me, you're also not laughing at the 5-year-old who's on stage with me that I'm protecting.
Yes,
Like-
and that is so therapy speak
Yeah.
because that is like I was talking to Anya today because Anya did a call with the Wall Street Journal. They're doing a piece on me, and they needed someone who's like been with me for a really long time and witnessed like the rise or whatever. And then Anya was texting me before to be like to just gain some insight.
Can we do that after the break?
Yeah, we'll go into it right after this break. And so Anya, I go, hey, so I sent her this. They said, I hope to speak with a friend of Nikki's, someone close to her who can talk about this moment in her career, how she's approaching the fame and pressure. Is anyone available for a 10-minute call? And I said, Anya, are you free? She said, yes. And she goes, anything you'd want me to say or not say? I said, no, you can say whatever. She said, okay. I said, tell them I'm depressed all the time. Me no care. And because she's witnessed a lot of that. And I'm like, yeah, tell them like the bad. I don't people will read it, but only people that like already love me and can accept it. And she said, LOL, it's def not a cakewalk, but you're a Midwestern workhorse, so it's in your blood. And I said, what is? Sorry, I don't understand. She said, being a workhorse. I said, yeah, I don't know. My parents both are hard workers, but they don't feel like they'll die if they stop working, which is how I feel. And she said, where do you get that from? And I said, I'm a 3. And I said, if I don't accomplish something great, if I'm not extraordinary, I have zero value. Also, I'm addicted to dopamine. She said, right. But Enneagrams are from family systems / dynamics. So it's partially your role in your family. I said, I don't know about that. I have to earn lots of money and fame to protect them, maybe. I don't see it as I need to be like the comic relief. Like, I don't relate to comedians that are like, my mom was depressed, so I had to be the one that make her laugh. Like, that's not me. Was that?
That was me growing up, and
Yes.
now I'm the exact opposite. Where,
Really?
You gotta make her cry.
I mean, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, well, you're not worried about your mom's happiness at all anymore.
But growing up, that was like really
that's what a lot of
my
comedians.
first performing was like trying to get her to like, stop being sad.
Yeah.
And I noticed Nolan doing it like with Aaron, like where
Yes.
he's like doing like bits and stuff, and it's like, hey, read the room, buddy. Like, I'm like, that's my thing.
It's true. It's such a thing that like kids learn how to do. Like they can manage what's going on, and like if I make mommy happy, if I tell her she looks beautiful, if I be sweet to her, like when they start to do like I think my friend's kid recently started like picking up on some kind of like weirdness that was happening and like overcompensating. And they were like, is that bad? I'm like, I think so, but also they're going to be who they're going to be.
There's
Like,
gonna be something.
there's always
It's
going to be
not
something.
that, it's something else.
Yeah.
Mommy and daddy can't be happy all the time.
No.
And it's adorable
And
that
even
they
if
want
you
to
are
fix
happy
it.
all the time, that might cause the thing.
Yeah. And she said, dangerous was your first word. And that reminded me that it was, because I was a really scared child. But she was trying to like get at it. And I said, yeah, it wasn't about that. It was about, it definitely was about wanting their attention. Like they watch TV, they love TV, but it wasn't about getting their attention as much as like they represent the world to me. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, to be important in the world, mom and dad watch TV. So they're the world. So everyone must love watching TV. Yeah. But I come to find, and we came to find out when I did start getting kind of like notoriety and being on things, my parents are miffed when people don't care. Like absolutely can't handle it when people don't, when they tell them that their daughter is going to be on TV. Did you know that I said it to my tennis group? None of them watched you on the Tonight Show last night. None of them. They couldn't stay up. They couldn't believe it. So they sold a thing that they also believe. They think the whole world cares about this. And I have learned from being in this job that people don't care about it as much as you think. There are some people that really care about Hollywood and TV, but most people don't.
But if you're in a tennis group and like you go, my daughter's on the Tonight Show tonight, you wouldn't be at least curious.
I
think those people are just pretending to not care.
No, this is like this weird thing.
It's a mixture of both.
It's curiosity.
It's a mixture. No, it's jealousy, and so they don't because they're so jealous.
Yeah.
And they can't admit it. But
I'm constantly thinking about this because, like, truly to me, Hollywood is everything. And like,
yeah, or that's what I used to think.
I still kind of believe this. Like,
Sure.
Where I'm like, why wouldn't you care about this? Because it's like the thing I've dedicated my entire life to. It's so foreign to me. And then I think about like all the people who are just like truly happy, and like I'm like, I don't understand that. Like that doesn't feel real to me.
Yes.
And like so I'm like, I guess it's the same thing, but but that's just me talking in therapy about how like I'm like, why wouldn't someone care or think it's the most interesting thing in the entire world that I have like opinions to say and people listen to me? Like, it's so cool.
It boggled my mind when people wouldn't care about, because I would have cared so much about someone I knew being on TV or having a TV show taping in their town, or like even my parents and my loved ones like not wanting to be on my reality show, even at that late of an age, like 4 years ago when I was pitching it, it didn't even occur to me that no one in my life would not want to be on a TV show, a reality show. Why wouldn't you? You're on TV, which is such a naive thing because most people do not want that kind of intrusiveness in their life at all. But I'm dying. It wasn't like I was dying for it. It was just like, wouldn't you want birthday cake? Like it was like, who would turn down?
I would turn it down.
We were talking about this on the road.
Some people don't want birthday cake.
We both were like,
I tried to turn it down.
Yeah, you did. You but that was a reason that I like really knew I loved you, because you didn't want to do this thing, but you knew but it was important to me in our relationship, and so you did this thing you really didn't want to do.
Didn't want to do it,
and you did okay.
And look at us now.
Yeah, you did it. You did it, and we would have done really.
And then I didn't watch it.
Yeah, we both didn't watch it.
Well,
yeah.
it's impossible to watch yourself as discussed.
It's horrible.
On reality, when
as
you're getting
we
all the angles too.
I mean,
Yeah.
but we
what-
were talking about this on the road where like we were like both we wanted to be on the real world like at young ages,
Yes.
and it's like that was like so informative because none of my friends wanted that.
Some people
and I'm
just
like,
watch TV and don't want to be on it. When I was a kid, I secretly thought everyone wanted to be an actress and be famous.
it's what it was like. There was a kid from my school who was on Broadway in Sound of Music, and like We all went on a class trip, and the entire way home on the bus, I was just shit talking him because I was so jealous. I was so jealous.
Okay, remember the movie Election?
Yes.
With Reese Witherspoon?
Oh, yeah.
Remember the girl that plays like the dork in the movie that is Chris Klein's sister?
Yeah.
She went to Webster Groves, which was our other high school. Like it was Kirkwood and Webster, and she was this girl that was picked out of obscurity to be in this picture. I couldn't have been more jealous of anyone in my life, and no one seemed to be bothered by it. And I was like, this is absurd. Like I remember when I was young and was like, in high school, and I've told this before, but I was like, in love with Dave Matthews, and I told all my friends like, I'm gonna, meet him someday, and so I'm sure like he'll fall in love with me. And they were like, no, you won't. Ew, why would you ever meet him? I'm like, because I'm gonna be famous. They're like, what? Like I was so offended that they didn't think it could happen. And also, why wouldn't you want to be famous? Like you want to be a dentist, like a famous dentist, like like a dentist who gets on TV somehow and there's a show about him. Like, but I think that's the culture we live in now, where anyone can be famous for doing anything.
I didn't have this with like Hollywood and being in shows or anything like that, but for sports, I'd be at a game and be like, God, I'd kill to be out there.
Oh, I mean,
I would love to be out on that field right now.
When I would be shooting by myself, I would always be playing these scenarios where I played for the University of North Carolina, and I was up against Duke, and I had like 3 seconds to hit a shot in my driveway, and I was like, this. So I've always, no matter what, I've always put myself at the top of something.
Yes.
like here I am, the point guard for the University of North Carolina. like never realistic, not like, oh, like I'm off the bench at Wagner University.
Yeah, is it so sad when you realize you're not going to be that? Because I honestly...
No, no.
You haven't let it go?
What do you mean?
You still dreaming?
Yes, yeah, I'm still dreaming, but not in a like...
But you're never going to be on...
There's always pickleball.
Yeah, like
Senior PGA.
Yeah, I could do senior PGA.
I was thinking about this, honestly, last week. I'm like, if I just like golf every single day, I could probably get on the senior PGA in
probably
10
could.
years.
I've done math like that on things.
Yeah.
Like at different stages of my life, I'm like, I'm 26. I could probably practice kicking, punting, and I bet you I can, if I dedicate my life to it, in a few years I could be good enough to like go play in Canada.
And
Yeah.
then you went back to sleep for 6 hours.
Yeah. and then I watched a fifth wheel marathon.
Eliminate.
Eliminate.
Yeah.
Hey, my name's Jessica, and I'm here to knock it out of the park.
Oh my God, Eliminate was so fun.
We need a final thought.
Oh, okay. Final thought. Do you have one?
Yeah, no, I don't. So I just announced that we needed a final thought because that's what I'm being told.
My night is so long ahead of us. I don't even want to leave here.
Really? What-
I have to go get a spray tan right after this. Maybe shove down a salad that we got earlier because I haven't had time to
Oh, we're
eat.
not doing a dinner? The group here isn't doing a dinner?
Oh no, I'm getting a spray tan while we talk about Golden Globe stuff and have our meeting.
All of us?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So we'll
And
all
then,
be together.
Yes, we'll all be together. We'll go to our new apartment that we just moved into.
Okay, great.
And
Did you
then
guys move into a new apartment?
yeah, well, it's
Temporary.
like a temporary like living space. It's nice though. I'm
good.
excited for
Yeah,
it.
I like it. I think we're
I've
gonna
lived
have
there
fun.
before.
Where is it?
During
We're not
it's the
telling
one that
you
I
on
lived.
this. We're not.
It's
What's
the
the
one that you
address?
went to before.
Oh, yes.
For the
You've
roast
been
when we were
there.
working on the roast.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We can't
Could
dox.
be anywhere.
We can't dox.
Yeah, we can't dox me like the makers of the commercial that I want to be taken
Pico
down.
Robertson.
Final thought, listen to Fat Benji podcast.
So many podcasts are taped here. You'll start
I know.
seeing it everywhere.
No, I have. I've seen it a bunch.
What do you have coming up this week?
So freaking much. Tomorrow I have a
Look at her day.
Wall Street Journal photo shoot that's
Oh.
starts at 8 a.m. I get into hair and makeup. I'm gonna try to go to Pilates at 6:30 a.m. You got my schedule right there. Let me just let people in on this.
Nikki's all orange.
Oh
me
my
see.
lord!
It's just
Let me
there's
see
no.
It's like Halloween.
orange for what?
It's like my skin tone after in an hour. Okay. It's like, so tomorrow, yeah, Wall Street Journal photo shoot, then a meeting with a very important person, a meeting that I'm very excited about with a writer person. And then I have 3 sets, one at the Improv, another at the Improv, one at the Laugh Factory, and then another one I think somewhere else.
That's
Then-
tonight or tomorrow night?
That's tomorrow. And then the next day, 5 a.m. hair and makeup. I am hosting the Hollywood Reporter event for like the 100 women in Hollywood.
Fun.
They're honoring like Nicole Kidman and Jennifer Lawrence and Selena Gomez. And I'm
You
going
have to do 5 a.m.
host
makeup?
a brunch.
Why? Oh, this is at like 12?
Because it starts at 8.
Ay, caramba.
I have to do a prompter read at 7:30.
What day is this?
Oh, my God.
That's fucking Wednesday.
Wednesday.
It's just
Okay.
Wednesday.
And we have to still write that speech I'm giving at the beginning. And then I have a photo shoot for 4 hours just to get new promo photos for tour. And then I have maybe Pilates at 6 p.m., but that's not looking likely. And then I have 3 sets that night, and we'll probably meet about the thing. And then Thursday, a film crew is following me around all day to do a bunch of stuff. And you have an appointment with Dr. Ross. I see that here. And then I have
Shout out to Dr.
2
Ross,
sets that
my
night.
boy.
And then Friday, I am introducing Paris Hilton at the Jingle Ball, so everyone tune into that. So
Whoa, what's that?
it's.
Well, I don't know. Not what's
I think
that.
it's like a.
Is it?
Where is
in
that? What's going
the
on?
Forum?
I think it's in Inglewood, so Intuit Dome.
Oh, Intuit
Oh.
Dome.
Oh.
That's
Intuit
good.
Dome.
Really?
I'm into it.
Yeah.
That place is cutting edge.
It's
Really?
cutting edge. They
Yeah.
have facial
Well,
recognition everywhere.
Yeah.
Really?
Getting into there is a little dicey
Not
still.
for me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
not
be
for you. But
driven in to
Yeah.
the bowels. But I get to introduce Paris Hilton, and I hope she's singing my new favorite song, ADHD. That it's her new pop song, but it's a jingle. So I think maybe it's gonna be like a holiday themed kind of thing. So I don't know.
She should just do Stars Are Blind. I mean, that's
Oh my God, it's so good.
Fucking banger.
And I also have a fitting that day for
and then
3
what about
hours
this
and
weekend?
And then this weekend,
We go
Oh.
to new.
then I'm going to fly into Vancouver on
yeah.
Saturday, and then I'm going to do some sets in Vancouver, possibly to try to work on the Golden Globe set.
Oh.
And then Sunday, I'm seeing the Last Eras tour.
Isn't Vancouver where it is?
Yeah.
The last. That's why you're going to Vancouver.
Yeah.
You're just gonna pop into sets in Vancouver because
Yeah, because I'm there a
you're
night
for-
before because I don't want to
I
risk
see,
not
yes.
making it
Yes,
there because
yes.
there's no directs. So then, and Sunday, I'm seeing the very Last Eras tour, my 22nd show,
Wow.
and I'll put that part of my life to sleep as she will that night too.
Oh.
Well, she's I can't keep going to Eras tours. They're
No,
not- they're
at
long.
some point it's got to end. You know, that's
gotta
what
end.
if my old ass taught us anything is that things have to come to an end at some point.
And
Just
that's
like
what
this
it did
podcast.
teach. Yep, and
Good
that's
night,
why that would be a good ending. Oh wait, I wanted to play. This is Emily reacting to my old ass because she's like, "Don't even pretend I'm not still here." She's like in the next room. I had no idea. So she texted me. She's like, "Don't even pretend." Oh, and she sent me the text from it too. You're so thorough. She goes, "Oh my God, I'm watching my old ass, and this girl looks." Oh, I said this, and this girl looks exactly like you. She said, "Stop, haha." I mean, slay, Maisie Stella. Except I would not wear most of those clothes. I said, yes. Okay, iconic. I'll take this as a compliment proudly. Thank you. I said, you should. She's gorgeous. Never seen her before. You've never seen Nashville? And I said, and she has a similar vibe in how she talks. And she goes, please, bye. Catch me in a gown every day now. If this is the energy I give. And she sent a picture of Maisie Stella, but she looks so cute. This is a good look for you, Emily. And I go, no, like how she talks. Also, this is a legit cool look. Okay, cool. I stood by it. She said, well, why the fuck can't I sing like her then? Why did I not get that talent? And by the way, I heard you singing on the way in here because we were singing Birds of a Feather, Emily. And you can sing, and I know you can. You're hiding a secret good voice.
Should we sing
Sneaky good voice.
a fish song?
No, Birds of a Feather, the Billie Eilish song. We were both singing it together, and then on the
okay.
way in, she like did a verse. You know when you catch someone being a good singer, and you're
Yeah,
like,
it's like-
oh, you have a secret little talent. Fuck you. You've been listening to me like sing all the time, and so anyway, this is her after she watched it.
Okay, so I just finished the movie.
This is everyone watching this.
Literally crying. And I had to document this because I was like, wait, we were just talking in the car, and I couldn't remember if you were asleep or not about like if we get upset by like movies or songs, like if you could like be emotional from them. And I think it's because you told me I look like her, so I then was like more empathetic.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that was funny because she was watching it and she does look exactly like her. So she was like, that's me. Like, so it made her cry
Yeah,
more.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I was really trying so hard in that movie to be like, it's not going to get me. And we're at the
Yeah.
end of it and I'm texting Anya being like, nope, sorry. Because there's emotional things. I'm like, it could have
Sure.
gotten me. But then, man, it hit me so fucking hard, sobbing. And I was with my dad and my mom. It's very embarrassing. It wasn't like we were in a dark theater and I could just
Yeah.
pretend I had allergies. Like, and we were all just messes. And
Yeah.
it's about family and like death and like people getting older. Like, so it was just like very resonant and like I would just suggest watching it alone or with people you're comfortable crying with, or watch it like Brian and don't cry at all.
Yeah, I was angry actually.
Did Allie cry?
When the big reveal happened, I was
Did Allie
furious.
cry?
No, no, and you know why? In the movie's defense, we dipped in and out.
Okay,
So,
yeah, you gotta stay with it.
yeah, I went in and out.
I dipped in.
You'll like
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But I can see how it would make people cry. I think maybe if I was in a theater, I would cry. I did not cry. I was like,
Sean, I can't wait for you
teared
to
up.
see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will watch it
Because
this
you'll
week.
you'll love it. It's just like it's such a movie you'll like. I think.
I mean, the fact that there's a twist that makes everyone cry and lets me know there was a movie called Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl where I watched it on a plane and I also was drunk and I just started sobbing on the plane.
Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl.
Yeah.
Me, Earl, and the
oh, a
Dying
good
Girl.
plane movie cry is so good.
And I was like crying, and to the point where I was like talking to the person next to me, like, why would they do that?
What did we watch on a plane and didn't like? Oh, I'm not gonna say because it's like involves people that we don't want to work with. Yeah, I'll say it after this.
It's time to go.
Okay,
anyway.
we gotta go. Thank you guys for listening to the show. I love you. Don't be cut and bye.